Hey everyone, hope you had a beautiful day. Welcome to this live session by Intellipaat. My name is Anirudh and I'll be walking you through this session on how to become a data scientist, a data analyst, and a data engineer. We will keep the video very concise and pithy and go about understanding a bit about all these fancy terms and designations and see what it's all about, okay? So, guys, before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified, right? So, without further ado, let's begin by checking out the agenda for the session. So let us have a quick introduction to all of these designations that I just told you and find out who a data scientist is, find out who a data analyst is, who a data engineer is, and so on. And later, we can go about talking about each of these guys, and I'll be giving you an insight about them as well. And followed by this, we will look at various job opportunities, trends, salaries, and so much more. And all these firms that I'll be walking you, though, are always on a roll, they're always on a high roll when it comes to hiring, guys. So I just wanted to mention this other thing as well, guys. So we are broadcasting this on our webinar and our YouTube channel as well. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I'll be more than happy to help you out. On that note, let me quickly ask you a question. Have you guys ever been in this situation? So, data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, these are all the job titles you'll often keep hearing, when people are talking about this fast growing world of data science. Well, if you're a recent learner, if you don't know what data science is, fear not, guys. I'll be walking you through the same. And data science this, data science that. I mean, it is the biggest community ever, and all of these, right? And I'm sure you guys have a couple of friends, cousins, or family members who are data scientists as well. I mean, come on. So I know a lot of people, probably because I am active on the development communities and I'm in constant touch with all of them. With all that experience, I bring you this live session to walk you through the same and get you started on this as well. So, what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you think about data science? Head to the comment section right now and let's keep this very interactive, guys. So, go on, leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll wait for it for a couple of seconds. So, on that, you guys put in a good number of comments so I can check out and answer them. So, on this note, let's move on. So, let me ask you this one quick question regarding what is trending right now. So, probably as experienced members of the development community, as nascent learners, as millennials on the whole who are interested into programming, so all of us combined, we are just behind trends most of the time. If you've ever looked at it in that perspective. So I have a very nice trend chart in front of you right now. This is by the big analytics company Reuters, and here basically the growth rate is a staggering 29%, and most of it is in billions of US dollars, guys. So what started out as a new industry, a new set of designations as data scientists, data analysts, back in 2017. I mean, all these were there from 2012 onwards, to be honest. But then they started picking up pace. It's almost like, throwing a matchstick on, let's say, an inflammable substance like petrol or something. So from 2017, 18, 19, 20, here is a future forecast as well. For 2021, 22, and 23, this is a $1 billion industry, and it is ever so on the rise. And see, with programming languages, this is rare to see. I've been following Java pretty much for the last decade now, And Java at one point of time was the king of programming languages. I'm not trying to badmouth Java here. Java is amazing. It has its own use cases and so on. But then Python came along. Python just started rising on the charts like anything, right? So right now, data science pretty much is that future beautiful looking candidate for us, where we can invest our time, where we can money, and we can, pretty much developers in a personal perspective, I can give it my heart and soul as well. And I know in confidence that my investment is being safe, it is upping itself in value all the time, guys. So on that note, let me quickly ask you a small question. So, since we're talking about three job roles out here, these are the options that pretty much came up to my mind, guys. So, which of the following sounds more appealing to you? So, would you rather be this person who's into exploring data and hunting for a search pattern in it? Let's say, let me give you a very toned down example. So let's say I have a bowl with 26 letters and it contains a letter from the alphabet, English alphabet, and you want to search for an F, or let's say you want to search for an A, and you pretty much know what you're searching for. This becomes your pattern because you already know you want to search for an A among 26. So would you want to go about picking up every single chit there and going about finding your letter A? This would be your first option. Your second option would be to look for answers in the data where you pretty much would not know what you're looking for. So there is a very good chance that you've started a project and you don't know the end goal. So you go about learning, learning, analyzing, living up to the trends, doing so many things, manipulations on that particular data, and you're trying to make sense out of it as well. This is option number two. Third one is you are very much interested in building an end-to-end system which is used to access all your data. First of all, you need to create your data, manage the data, and you need to go about making the data a very community friendly item. At the end of the day, what as we developers struggle with is even as professionals is to basically have data talk with your peers, your superiors, your juniors, and all of them, guys. So what you code is what you understand, but then making it user friendly for someone else who's learning on it, who's working on it, this takes a challenging amount of work and experience. This would be your third option. So go about take about, let's say, 10-15 seconds. Just punch in A, B, or C in your chat boxes, picking up your particular answer. If you're looking for multiple roles, guys, you are pretty much free to give us your multiple choice option as well. So go about, give us your answers in the chat box, and we'll just check it out. So I hope you guys have put up some good answers down there. And on that note, let us quickly check and get into the gist of what this entire live session is about, guys. So this slide pretty much covers all the three roles, and it goes about in the order of how it happens in the real life as well. So at first we have this person or a team. They are the data engineers. So what these data engineers do is they go about pretty much bringing in all of the data from all of our various sources, guys. So let's say if you're doing any sort of Twitter analysis, you have millions and millions of tweets which are coming on to you, and Twitter, there might be YouTube links in that tweet. You might be hyperlinking to a website. At the end of the day, even something as simple social media platform like Twitter will bring in data from loads of sources. So you need someone to be the first point of impact in your organization to handle the brute force of all of these data that's coming in. This person has to make it, wrap it up in a really nice way, such that the person down the line, the data scientists and the analysts, can make sense of what this data is. And coming to the data scientist, so the data engineer pretty much picks up raw, messy data for us, creates it into an information which is not yet useful per se, because we have the data scientist sitting in the abstraction layer in the middle. What the data scientist goes about doing is pretty much this person is responsible to work to convert all of these raw data. It might be structured data, it might be unstructured data, it might be semi-structured data. So convert all the data into valid, useful information, which at the end of the day is what every organization will look for, is the very important role of the data scientist, guys. So I'm highlighting data scientists in this particular slide because personally I believe among engineers and analysts, a data scientist is pretty much has the upper hand in most of the scenarios. I mean, sure, a data engineer has his own challenges, a data analyst has his own challenges, but at the end of the day, the TLDR of this particular conversation would pretty much end with people agreeing on that a data scientist has the upper hand among them. So I was just checking a couple of surveys, and my point stands guard of those surveys as well, guys. Anyway, coming to the data analyst. So our data scientist will take all the information, all the data, and create it into valid information. And most of this is mathematics. It's the answer of the simple questions that we ask to our data scientists is sitting in numbers. So let's say you're walking into a client meeting. Would you really give them the simple math numbers 3.53, 1.23? Would you rather give them all of these simple math numbers, or would you give them very nice presentations to look at, or would you go about making it very nice to look at in a way such that your clients, a layman, can understand this, right? So the order is simple, guys. The takeaway from the slide is the new data which is seen by a corporation is pretty much at the data engineer's doorstep, and he works on it, pushes it to the data scientist. Data scientists can go about working on it, converting it into information, and giving out numbers. So these churned out numbers are taken in by the data analysts. He presents it in a very nice way to the clients or the peers or the internals or whatever, and he makes predictions on it as well. So the forecast what we saw for data science, right? So that was a prediction. We have data from 2017 all the way till 2023. So to go about having a strong prediction like that is again an asset, right, for any organization. So the data analyst sits there and does just that for us. So on that note, let's quickly jump into the first major role, guys. So who are data analysts? So the data analysts pretty much deliver value to their companies by taking in the data which is given to them by the data scientists that we already know at this point. They use it to pretty much answer the questions that they have, take it, make it more structured, make it very nice to look at. And see, making it nice to look at is one aspect of it, but making it simple enough for a layman to understand, this takes a lot of skills. Verbally, it seems very simple, but then at the end of the day, if you're churning out a lot of numbers and you have to simplify it such that a nascent learner, has to understand of this and make sense of it, that takes a lot of skills. So coming to the tasks done by the data analysts, pretty much the main important task is data cleaning. So let's say you have data with 100 words in it, and then you'll only be requiring 70 or 80 from it. Having the 20 more, well, sure, they won't hurt you because it's only 100. Now think of a data set which will give you 100 million word count or something like that. And now you have 1 million or 2 million words which are useless to you, or probably they were useful for the scientist and they're no more useful for you to plot your diagrams and all of that. So data scientists pretty much have got us covered here by cleaning our data, making it presentable at the beginning itself. Then as soon as the data is clean, they pretty much go about performing in-depth analysis to it. They do predictions, they do a lot of things, guys. So everything involving very simple presentations all the way to extremely complex forecasting systems and prediction systems as well. And basically at the end of it, they create very good data visualizations for all the learners. And I have for you on your screen right now. These are the common titles which a data analyst is also called as. So the nomenclature is a bit different, but you guys might be open, or you might have heard these terms before. So data analyst is also called as a business analyst. He could be also called as a business intelligence analyst, an operations analyst, and a database analyst as well. So the next time you see this pop up, make sure you pretty much go about understanding that their role is very simple to a data analyst's role, guys. So, anyway, moving on, let us talk a little bit in depth about what a data analyst does. So, a data analyst again has the potential to turn just a simple business into a data driven business empire, guys. That's a very strong statement, right? So, a data analyst pretty much does just that. And as audience, you guys might be in college, in school, and you guys might just be people who are nascent learners as well. Guys, just give me a minute. I'll grab a quick glass of water. Hey guys, so we were just checking a couple of comments from you guys, and a couple of you people are having some sort of difficulty seeing our screen. So pretty much give us 30 seconds, and our team is working on it, guys. So we'll just take a quick 30-second break, and we'll pretty much go about continuing this session. So we're back, guys. Super. Our team pretty much got on it and jumped on it and pretty much fixed the tiny nagging issue we had. So anyway, as I was talking about you guys offhand right now, you guys might be people away from school. You guys might be people from colleges, or you just got out of college. You're looking for a job, or you just might be someone on the stream who has, let's say, 10, 15 years of experience in this field, right? So you might be wondering if a data analyst's job is an entry level job or not. I'll not let my bias come into this, and I'll talk to it from the third person perspective, guys. So basically, the answer is yes and no. As an entry level person searching for a job, you can still get into, or you can still become a data analyst. And you'll pretty much will be starting out as an associate or a junior as well. I mean, sure, you'll be worked into the job, and then you can go about learning from there as well. And coming to the no part of it is, it's pretty much the advanced level of the job, guys. So you can go about having 5-6 years of experience, and then you can be the entire data architect for a firm. And then a data architect basically handles everything. So again, on that level, data analyst's role is for you as well. So the takeaway from this particular slide for you guys is that if you're an entry level person having 0 to 1 year experience, yes, you can still become a data analyst. Number two, if you're over 2-3 years experience all the way till 10, 15, 20 and so on, or let's say you have more experience, you're a senior person and you're looking to learn. I mean, come on, guys. So this again is for you guys as well. So all you need is an open mind to go about pretty much learning and becoming a data analyst. And I've listed a couple of common tasks that a data analyst will do day in and day out, guys. The first one that we spoke about was cleaning and organizing raw unstructured data. So again, think of the Twitter example. You have millions of tweets and you want to do a sentiment analysis on it to see what people are talking about. So let's say even a Facebook group, Facebook will go about doing extreme analysis if you guys are not aware, and I would suggest you guys read that up as well. So the every time you react to a particular post, Facebook's algorithm will pick it up. So at the end of it, to see how many millions of users have been reacting to posts, either they're angry about it, they're happy, they're laughing, they're sad. So all these are taken into account by these analysts, and they pretty much go about making it really nice to look at, figure something out from the data, and this is important. This is getting the big picture view using descriptive statistics, guys. So you'll have 10 million people who just smiled at a meme you just saw. Uh, to the layman, this is very simple, but to Facebook, they need a big picture view of what's happening, why the 10 million people went about laughing at the meme, something like that. And not every time you play with data you find out things at your first turn. So data is this hidden treasure box where you can pretty much start pulling out so many things out of it. If you guys are machine learning people, if you guys are from neural network background, deep learning, and so on, I'm sure you guys can relate to this particular point so much, right? And coming to the next point is again creation of dashboards and visualizations, guys. So as I said, no one likes to see numbers. I mean, sure, if you're a mathematical, statistical guy like me, you would love to see numbers and make sense out of them. But then if you have to show your numbers to your superiors who is not so into this technology, right? So if you're giving them tensor board numbers, if you're giving them root mean square errors numbers, it really won't make sense to them. I mean, sure, if they learned and they know it, but they're not inclined to do it. I mean, come on. It's your job to simplify it for them and show it to them in such a way that they can understand and make sense out of it. Data analysts do that. And lastly, presentation of results to clients and your internal team, as I've already been mentioning, guys. So on that note, what are the skill sets of a data analyst? First thing you'll pretty much go about needing is advanced programming concepts, guys. So you will require advanced programming concepts in terms of visualization. You will need to know a little bit of big data as well, and so much more. Next up would be Adobe tools, Google Analytics, because analytics is everything as the name suggests here. Thirdly is spreadsheet knowledge. So converting the raw data into semi-structured data and later probably converting it into something like a spreadsheet where it's either semi-structured or a structured amount of data, because you have specific rows, you have specific columns, you can work on it, you can create graphs in a simple tool such as MS Excel. That pretty much, yes, a data analyst will do that as well. He'll go about opening up your MS Excel and then create visualizations from there. How cool is that? And database proficiency, because you need to know how your data scientist has put in the data so you can work with it, right? And lastly, scripting skills. Pretty much scripting skills are a very important skill set to have in case you're considering to be a data analyst, guys. So on that note, let's come to a data scientist. So who is a data scientist, guys? So the data scientist is the person who pretty much is sitting in the middle of the pipeline, and this person wants to go about applying their expertise of manipulating some data, and then they want to build machine learning models out of it, they want to make predictions out of it, and they want to go about getting key answers to your business questions as well. So at the end of the day, these guys are the ones who see raw data, convert them into beautiful code, usable code, using couple of machine learning techniques, use regression, use binary classification, use ReLU, use so many things, and make your data what it is. They still need to be able to clean the data, they have to analyze the data, they have to go about visualizing the data, and then this again is very simple to a data analyst as well, right? So on that note, coming to the common tasks that a data scientist would do. Step one would be pretty much evaluation of a statistical model to do any sort of analysis that's required. Secondly, making use of machine learning, not just machine learning, guys. So I can broaden up on that particular point to tell you that even deep learning, neural networks, so much more to build your algorithms and let them work for you. The better the algorithms, the better the data scientist is a common term what we developers go about championing in our communities. And yes, so if you're going about doing something, then you have to test it as well, right? So testing and improvisation of these algorithms are a very key important aspect of a data scientist. And last point would be a visualization of advanced analysis data. One thing you need to know is that a data scientist can do everything that a data analyst can do. But a data analyst pretty much might lag when it comes to what a data scientist can do, guys, because a data scientist has a very superior upper hand when it comes to machine learning, developing, working on the data at the end of the day is what you would try to champion here as well. And here are some of the skill sets of a data scientist. Step one would be pretty much in-depth programming skills. Sure, you will need programming skills with Python, you need it with R, you need it with SAS, yeah, so much more. It sounds very complicated here, but let me tell you, it actually isn't. It is extremely simple, and we are here to guide you through the programming skills which is required to become a data scientist, guys. And secondly, it is data optimization skills. So the more the data optimized, the better the scientist, as I already told you. Data, sure, if you can make your 100 million data set into a 99 million data set, boom, you have improved a lot. So you just saved a million iterations or a million workflow utility structures, so that your algorithm or your machine runs on. And decision making skills is again a huge part of this as well, guys. So you need to know when your algorithm can push, when it cannot, what is the things that you can expect out of it as well. And sure, you need big data technologies as well, knowing Spark, knowing Hadoop, knowing Hive, knowing Pig. Knowing all of these concepts is very important, because at the end of the day, sitting at the middle position, you'll be talking to your data engineer a lot. This data engineer is a big data expert, and he's giving you all these channels of data which is pouring in billions and billions of data into your pipeline. So you need something to handle that with, and you need to know at least how the architecture works of a couple of big data solutions, right? So that forms a very vital part of this skill set as well. And data handling efficiency, you need to know how you can go about handling your data effectively. Handling a data, sure, even as a nascent new data scientist, you will be able to do it. But handling your data in such a way where it makes sense to everyone, where your data is at its peak, because as developers, as active people in the community, we pretty much go about hunting for efficiency. If we try to push for accuracy, which is 0. 0.00 into 10 power minus 4 minus 5. So that's 0 followed 0.00000012, so something like that. When we're churning out numbers and we're expecting that sort of efficiency, you just think about the amount of work that goes about there, guys. And now coming to data engineers. So data engineers are these friendly chaps, friendly people who are sitting on the first entry point of our data. So these guys go about building the systems, optimizing the systems, and they allow further communications down the pipeline with data scientists and analysts sitting there to perform their particular work as well. And every company pretty much depends on their scientists, engineers, and analysts to make sure that the data is as accurate as possible and as accessible as possible to whoever needs to work with it. So you need your data. As a data engineer, you need your data to go to your data science team, you need the data to go to the testing team, you need the data to go about move around so much in your organization that you need to keep a track of it. You need to know what your data is doing at the end of the day. And that sounds very simple, but for data engineers, it sort of is they need the upper hand there, guys. And the data engineer ensures that any data is properly received, it is supposed to be transformed the way it is, it's supposed to be stored, it is supposed to be made accessible to every other user as well. And now coming to the common tasks that a data engineer can go about doing, it's pretty much starting with building APIs for data consumption. So data consumption, we have data being churned out, as I've already told you. Twitter, there are millions of tweets every single day. So data is being generated. So the producer is producing the data. You as the consumer need to make sure you build a very good programming interface that can talk to all these data and handle them, right? So they have to build really good APIs to make sure that the data pipeline is not stuck and all of the data can be consumed in the organization, and pretty much connect new and external data sets to an existing pipeline as well. So let's say you as the organization, you have your own pipeline, and you have your own set of data handling tasks and the procedures that you do. And now, let's say you're an organization who's tracking Facebook emotions and sentiment analysis are there. And now I decide to expand up, and with the churn of my hand, I can tell you that no, I want Twitter as well. So whoa, that would be a big blow, right? So you need to know how you can make Twitter talk to your organization. A data engineer can do just that. So applying feature transformations on your ML models as well. So your ML models, machine learning models, at the end of the day, sure, they're good. They make your job so much simpler. They give you numbers so accurate and so good and all of these, right? But to make sure even your machine learning algorithms are at its peak, are at its scale, we pretty much need a data engineer to talk to a scientist and coordinate with them as well, guys. And lastly, continuous monitoring and testing of systems is also a very important task that a data engineer can do. And the skill sets which are required by a data engineer are not very big, but it's pretty simple as well, guys. So you need intermediate programming skills as a data engineer. Most of it is pretty much big data, because we live in a world of big data and data science, right? And then you're going to need a proficiency with SQL and database tools. You'll have to talk with MySQL, you'll have to talk with NoSQL, you'll have to talk with Cassandra, you'll have to talk with Kubernetes. So much tools out here. So having a proficiency with knowing how you can handle your unstructured data, structured data, and semi-structured data is important as well, guys. And going about handling your data from multiple sources is a big key point that I want you guys to note. And big data technologies, well, data engineers are champions of big data, is what I can tell you if I have to put it in just one sentence. And lastly, data pipelining proficiency, guys. So as I've already told you, you can just think about eating your favorite food, right? So my favorite food is a strawberry. So I can only ever so put in these many strawberries in my mouth and expect it to get into my system, right? So I cannot go about stuffing 20-30 strawberries and expect my jaw to handle the strain, my system to pretty much take in 20 strawberries in a second. So that again, map it as an analogy to your data. So you need your data pretty much to be consumed as quickly as the data is being generated, and this is extremely important. And data engineer can go about doing that, guys. Without further ado, let's quickly jump into a sample data scientist job description I have from Spotify. So to prove that whatever we've been going through, to prove all the theoretical terms that we've just walked you through is correct. So I picked this up from Indeed.com, and Spotify are pretty much looking for data scientists. So they say that you need a deep understanding of statistics, you need experience working with real world data. And most of the real world data in this is a big data solution. You're going to need a strong business sense. You need to have technical competence to perform advanced analytics. You need coding skills. You need Python. You need R. You need Scala. You need SPSS. You need SQL. And the experience of performing analysis with extremely large data sets that I've been talking to you guys through. And you need to have statistical competence. You need to know what regression modeling is. You need to know what A/B testing is, significance testing is, and so much more. You need to have demonstrated experience with hands-on in terms of statistical modeling, knowledge about machine learning, predictive analysis, decision trees, classification models, clustering techniques. Oh my god. Fear not, these are all really simple, very extremely powerful tools that you will be pretty much using about and learning as well. So if you're a very keen data analyst person attending this live session, I can tell you that if you're already proficient with the data analyst role, why not spread your wings into the world of data science? So come check the world of data science out, and there might be always, so learning is always consistent, and you can go about learning more and more about something as well, right? And if you're an engineer, again, data science is pretty much go you can pretty much come to our field as well and see what data science will offer to you at the end of the day as well. uh, so I have another simple data scientist job description for you. It's from Nike. I'm sure all of us have heard of the brand Nike, right? Very famous sports apparel company. And these guys are looking for data scientists as well. So you might be wondering, why would Nike ever require data scientists? Well, sure, they have millions and billions of customers around the world, guys. So let me quickly jump into the responsibilities. You'll pretty much have to go about using data science analytics methods, tools to derive some good business insights for them. How many people have bought the shoe which is of size 8? How many size 8 shoes have been sold in Africa? How many has it sold in China? How many has it sold in India? So they can know where they can aim their market at, guys. And going about mastering your big data fundamentals as well. You need to go about gathering, cleaning, validating, and pretty much large amount of data on Nike's cloud platform as well. So creating foundational pipelines, repeated production queries in our data warehouse to analyze large data sets on, again, billions of consumers, and going about doing something is a lot as well, guys. And developing processes and continuous improvement of core projects, which goes through automation and process enhancement, is pretty much vital. Creation of reports, visualization of core app features, marketing campaigns. A data scientist is marketing. Think about it. So how much a data scientist influences a company? If you're into marketing as well, sure, and you're interested into coding, a data scientist job is pretty much what you can go about picking, guys. So just give me a second. Let me quickly grab another gulp of water, and I just want to check the technical aspects of the presentation right now. I'll just be back in a jiffy, guys. Yeah. So continuing. So what does the data analyst job description look like? We've looked at Facebook right now. So Facebook says, as a data analyst, you need to provide in-depth analysis. You need to do some discovery on your data. You need to go about investigating on the data. At the end of the day, visualizing the data is what they're all concerned about. You need to participate in ongoing development of business intelligence, data warehousing, functions within the wider organization, and so much more. You'll have to have the skills to build extremely rich and dynamic dashboards which look beautiful at the end of the day for your clients, peers, and superiors. And you need to go about using Tableau, Power BI, R, and so many more technologies for this as well. Exploring and recommend emerging technologies as well. Well, sure, go think about it. A data analyst is recommending emerging technologies as well. Again, prediction and technology is pretty much which is needed to support enhance your business intelligence landscapes, right? So BI stands for business intelligence, guys. And you need to provide a summary. Providing a summary for something as big as this sounds easy again, but extremely tough talking on paper. So providing summary documentation on these results are again a very key role responsibility that Facebook believes in. And coming to IBM, International Business Machine, these guys want you as data analysts to develop and execute aggressive growth plans. They're looking into the future again. They need strategic short and long term practices, thought leadership around the offerings, and they want good asset development. They want to cultivate really strong relationships as an analyst with your client, who are your decision makers, and influence these clients into good buying behaviors where they're in touch with your organization, buying your products, staying as your loyal customers throughout. To go about doing this, you have given a free hand to use artificial intelligence, use machine learning, use assets, do anything, but just make sure that the good client relationship is there. Formulate a very strategic vision, a tactical roadmap to address your client's critical data and analytics. Again, guys, very, very, very important role here. and go about using very good leadership capabilities in data and analytics. So this is a new, right? So leadership capabilities in data and analytics. Wow. Okay, that's, think about it, right? I mean, come on. As a data analyst, sure, is very fun and interesting to me as as a person who's been in this for a while as well, and bringing about meaningful pair client relationships to value your time, money, and at the end of it, bringing more business to your organization.